Good morning. Before we rush into the noise of the day, before the emails, the responsibilities, and the expectations start pulling at our attention, let's take a quiet moment together and gently bring our hearts before God. There's something subtle that happens in the life of faith, something that doesn't usually begin with bad intentions. It starts quietly, almost unnoticed. We begin by loving God sincerely, wanting to honor Him, wanting to live rightly, but over time, without realizing it, that love can slowly shift into performance. We stop asking, "Am I walking with God?" And we start asking, "How do I look to others?" We begin doing good things, saying the right words, showing up faithfully, but somewhere along the way, the audience changes. Instead of living before God, we start living before people. This is especially easy in a world like ours, where being seen often feels the same as being valued. In American culture, strength is admired, confidence is praised, and weakness is often hidden. Even in church spaces, it can feel safer to appear put together than to be honest. So we learn how to smile while we're tired inside. We learn how to worship while carrying unspoken struggles. We learn how to serve while quietly craving affirmation. None of this makes you fake. It makes you human. But when faith turns into something we perform instead of something we live, our hearts begin to grow weary. You can do all the right things and still feel disconnected. You can be faithful on the outside and restless on the inside. And that exhaustion is often a sign that your soul is working too hard to be seen. God never asked you to impress Him. He has never been moved by performance. He isn't drawn closer by polished prayers or spiritual language meant to sound strong. What He desires is truth in the quiet places. The shift He invites you into is gentle but profound, a quiet shift of the heart from seeking approval to resting in presence. From asking, "Did they notice?" to asking, "Am I walking with God right now?" When your faith is rooted in love, service flows naturally. But when your faith is driven by approval, even good works can become heavy. That's why Jesus so often withdrew from the crowds. He knew how easily attention could replace intimacy. This morning, God is inviting you out of hiding, not because He's disappointed in you, but because He wants to give you rest. You don't have to prove that you're strong. You don't have to maintain an image. You don't have to carry the quiet pressure of being admired. There is freedom in living before God alone. There is peace in knowing that even when no one sees your obedience, your honesty, your quiet faithfulness, God does. And His eyes are not eyes of judgment, but eyes of love. As we continue, allow your heart to settle into that truth. Let the need to be seen soften. Let the noise of comparison fade. God is not calling you to perform today. He is calling you to walk with Him, to bring Him your real heart, not your polished one. And that is where true peace begins. And as you step out of performance and into God's presence, there is something important your heart needs to hear this morning. God always washes the inside first. He does not begin with appearances, and He does not work through shame. He works through grace. Many people carry a quiet fear that if God really saw everything inside them, the mixed motives, the private struggles, the thoughts they never say out loud, He would pull away. But the truth is just the opposite. God already sees, and He stays. He doesn't expose your heart to humiliate you. He reveals it to heal you. Shame says, "Hide until you're better." Grace says, "Come close so I can make you whole." There is a big difference between conviction and condemnation, and your soul needs to know that difference. Conviction gently points to what needs healing and invites you forward. Condemnation crushes, accuses, and pushes you into hiding. God does not lead with condemnation. When He puts His finger on something in your heart, it is never to destroy you. It is to restore you. He is not interested in managing your image. He is interested in transforming your inner life. So often, the hidden places are not just obvious sins. They are quieter things that need to be noticed. The habit of comparing yourself to others. The subtle pride that says, "At least I'm doing better than them." Sometimes it's exhaustion from trying to look spiritually strong when you feel weak. Sometimes it's resentment you never dealt with, or fear that keeps you from being fully honest. These things don't make you a bad believer. They make you a real one. And grace meets you right there, not after you fix yourself, but while you are still becoming. God's cleansing is not about scrubbing harder. It's about surrendering deeper. He is not asking you to be perfect before you come to Him. He is asking you to be honest. Healing begins the moment you stop pretending and start telling the truth in His presence. And there is such freedom in that. When you let God wash the inside, you no longer have to protect the outside. You no longer have to defend yourself or hide behind spiritual effort. You can breathe again, because grace is doing the work you were never meant to do on your own. As we move forward, let your heart rest in this promise. God is gentle with what He cleans. He is patient with what He heals. And He is faithful to finish what He begins in you. You are not being exposed. You are being invited. Invited into the light where shame loses its power and grace begins its quiet, life-giving work. And from that place of healing, God will lead you into a faith that is not just visible, but alive. And now, as we come to the close of this time together, God gently invites you into a simpler way of living, an audience of one. This is not about trying harder or adding more spiritual tasks to your day. It's about learning how to stay close. A clean heart isn't formed by pressure. It's shaped by presence. Real faith stays alive when it is rooted in daily dependence, not occasional effort. And the most powerful moments of obedience often happen in quiet places where no one else is watching. Living for an audience of one begins with small, honest practices. It can be as simple as starting your morning with one sincere question. Lord, what is happening in my heart today? Not what should be happening, not what you hope others see, but what is actually there. Throughout the day, you can pause and ask, am I doing this to be noticed, or am I doing this with love? These gentle check-ins aren't meant to accuse you. They are meant to keep your heart soft and your motives clear. God is far more interested in your direction than your perfection. Staying close to Jesus also means learning to let go of the noise that pulls you into comparison. Comparison slowly poisons gratitude and quietly shifts your focus back to yourself. When you notice it creeping in, you don't have to fight it with shame. You can simply return to truth. You are seen. You are known. You are deeply loved. When you live from that place, you don't need applause to feel secure. Your confidence comes from belonging, not from being admired. There is also something powerful about secret obedience, choosing what is right when no one is applauding, serving when no one is keeping score, being faithful when it costs you something. God sees those moments, and they matter more than you know. Fear of people will always pressure you to perform, but trust in God gives your soul a place to rest. When you live before Him, you are free from the exhausting need to prove yourself. So as you step into this day, let your prayer be simple and sincere. Lord, keep my heart clean. Keep my motives pure. Help me stay close to you. You don't have to be perfect to walk with God. You just have to be willing to stay honest, willing to stay humble, willing to keep coming back to His presence. You don't have to be seen to be known. God already sees you, and He is still at work in you. May you walk today with quiet confidence, not because you feel strong, but because you are held. May your private life be shaped by grace, and may your faith remain alive, real, and deeply rooted in the God who walks with you.